Hoy es viernes por la tarde. Actually, I'm English, I'm not Spanish, just in case you were wondering, but that means today is Friday afternoon. So yeah, welcome to the Valencia vlog. I am 2.5 weeks into my month stay here, so this is going to be all about Valencia, what it's been like to live here for a month. It's not really going to be your typical travel vlog because I don't really travel to go to cafes and stuff like that. Not putting down those travel vloggers. I watch many of them and I appreciate the work that they do to recommend cafes and restaurants and bars and all that kind of stuff, but that's not really me. I'm kind of living here and working, and this is going to be more of a vlog going through the different neighbourhoods, the general vibe, what the culture's like, what to expect if you stay here for an extended period of time. So straight off the bat, this is one of the benefits of Valencia. It's a very green city, and I'm walking through a little park on one of the main roads.
Okay, so I thought this would be a useful section as I am a visual person, so if you are as well. Here we have good old Google Maps, so let me just give you a quick rundown of the geography of Valencia. Now this is just in my personal opinion, okay? So this is where I'm staying, as you can see.
So I'm going to give you a clue to the neighbourhood that I'm staying in. So, you know, just a local neighbourhood, really. But I'm really happy that I decided to stay here. If I was here for a holiday, a long weekend, maybe a week, I'd probably stay in Rusafa, where all the other expats stay, well, the majority of the expats, or in the central Old Town area. But I want to get the local vibe, you know? I want to see how the majority of the locals live, how they spend their day to day. And so it's not as aesthetically pleasing as some of the other neighbourhoods, but even though it might not look as pretty on the eye, the vibe and like just the environment and the people, they make it beautiful, if that makes sense. You know, you walk around and you feel completely safe. And I've always had my phone out, I can wear a watch, and yeah, even though it's not as aesthetically pleasing as a neighbourhood like Rusafa, the people and the environment and the vibe and just the friendliness of the locals will make up for it, so it's all good.
The Mestalla Stadium, so I don't actually really know what this neighbourhood's called, so I mean it's between Mestalla and Le Amastat. So this is around a 25-minute walk to the centre. So here we have the Old Town. So this is the main kind of tourist hotspot. You have the main train station here, and here you have the Old Town and all of the cathedrals, the city walls, all of the good touristy stuff, all of the cute little lanes and side roads and all of this kind of stuff in this area here. So it's a relatively small area. You can probably walk from one end to the other in about 20 minutes. So that's that. Then you have La Gran Via. And this area here as well, don't really know what that's called, but these are the two most affluent areas to live in, I believe, anyway. And here is Rusafa, which is probably close behind La Gran Via, but Rusafa is the main expat community, or one of the main expats community. It's a really beautiful part of the city, and here of course it costs the most alongside La Gran Via to stay in Valencia, especially long term as well, but these are the two most beautiful neighbourhoods right in the heart of the city. Umpteen amount of restaurants, bars, cafes, lovely looking streets, buildings, etc. Obviously that comes with a cost, and then the other con really is just the hustle and bustle of it. It is very, very busy. But then of course you have what I think is the rising star, well not the rising star, the star of Valencia is Turia Park.
Welcome to Turia Park. This is arguably my favourite place in the whole of Valencia. I mean, it's really the heartbeat, the lifeblood of the city. A dried out riverbed going through the entire city, and it's just so unique. You know, all of the main cities around the world, well, not all of them, but the majority of them, London, etc., they're all formed around the river, right? Because obviously back in the day, that's how they used to transport all the goods. And so drying out this riverbed in 1957 is probably the best thing that they've ever done for the city. Like, it is just so peaceful. You know, you're below street level, so you get none of the hustle and bustle of the city. I come here every morning and most evenings for my walk. I mean, just look at it, how immaculate it is. On the weekends, it's packed. You got your families having your picnics. There's football courts, tennis courts. It's 9 kilometers, so it's a big old park. And what I like about it is that the Valencians are proud of it. Going back to the culture, you know, like I was saying about the neighbourhood I'm living, it might not be the nicest on the eye, but it's still a nice neighbourhood because of the vibe, the environment, the community. And people just respect it. They love it, so they look after it, they take care of it. But yeah, I mean, every day, I don't know what the footfall is, but it's definitely in the thousands. And you'd wonder, like, what the city would be like without it. You know, the amount of people that, I mean, it's like, what is it, 8 in the morning, which is quite early for Spain. And there's loads and loads of people out already. So yeah, you'd wonder like what the city would be like without it. You know, you'd be walking along the streets, obviously. So anyway, without rambling, there you go.
So you can see here, 9 kilometers from start to finish. The old dried out riverbed is really the heart of the city. Probably my favourite aspect of Valencia is Turia Park. Down here you have the other popular neighbourhood for expats, which is El Cabanyal. So this is the beach neighbourhood. So for me, it's about a 30-35 minute walk down here. In between here is a very local neighbourhood. So if you look online, there's like hardly any Airbnbs or hotels or anything like that. So this is a really cool local neighbourhood, kind of similar to where I am. But El Cabanyal is very, very popular now. Actually, a few years ago, it was very, very run down and was quite a sketchy part of the city. But it's really come into its own in the past few years. It's very, very edgy now. So that typically happens with kind of rundown areas. With the rise of social media and travel now, all of those rundown areas with edgy buildings and graffiti and all that kind of stuff, it's now very edgy and it's kind of risen into its own. So this is a very, very popular neighborhood, and it's a very different feel as well. So it's got more of a Latin America kind of feel to it. So it's a kind of not high buildings, and it's of course by the beach, so it has that different kind of vibe. The beach is beautiful, extremely big beach as well, so you'll never have to worry about getting a space to sit and sunbathe, and the promenade is great for walking and running and all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's pretty much where I explored from here to where I live to here. So that's why I kind of decided to stay in here, because it's right in the middle, so it's pretty cool.
days that you're going to be a tourist, come out early, because little alleyways like this in the old town will be absolutely ramdino later. So there's a little tip for you. Always get up as early as you can to go explore. I'm English, we obviously love talking about the weather, so here is a section on the weather in Valencia for you, best and worst times to visit. And yes, believe it or not, there is a worst time to visit Valencia. So I'm staying here mid-October to late November. Mid-October, absolutely perfect, like mid-20 degrees, sunshine. Actually, this is a fun fact for you. Valencia has 300 sunshine days a year, or should I say days where it doesn't rain every year. 300 out of 365, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, October, mid 20s, and then at night it got down to about 18, 19 degrees, so perfecto. As you can see, I'm wearing a jumper, so it's got colder here in November, December, January. The winter months do get rather cold in the mornings and the evenings, but still during the days it is around 15s, mid-teens kind of temperature, so pretty nice. The worst time to visit is actually in the summer months. Now, all of you parents are probably thinking, well, that's the only time I have to take my kids away, so what do? Well, the answer is you'll be sweltering in a bunch of heat. So July, August, and then sometimes June and September get extremely hot, low to mid 30s, and that's without the humidity and the scorching sun. So being a tourist during the day really is difficult, so just keep that in mind. So yeah, and as it's summer holidays, you of course get the crowds. So me personally, coming in between the off season, so spring and autumn, so you get the nice weather but the less crowds, is the way to go.